Alright everyone, we are here doing part 3 today out of 4. I will be bringing you the next one here in the next few days. Probably, I don't know, next week sometime. This part 3 I'm going to finally talk about the only exclusive that I really want to talk about, and that's Tour Bus. I'm sure a lot of you have done your research and checked on that, but for those of you who haven't, I wanted to talk a little bit about it, so that'll be at the end of the video. Alright, let's start off. We are still on the Exceeds, and this is a good one. This is not a really replacement for YuGiOh, but a definite strong monster. It does require 3 level 2s, so you could bring out all your shine balls in a Herald deck. You know, maybe you can do something else with Infernal Reckless Summon to bring out a bunch of 2s. I don't really know. Just let me know what you guys think of the best way to bring it out besides shine balls. He is very good because when somebody declares an attack, he's always going to be 100 higher, because what he does is he steals half of the attack from another monster and puts it on himself. So he's always going to be that 100 higher. So the problem is, it's you know, it does require 3 level 2s, so he can do this 3 times, which is really good. You know, of course, you just got to watch out for something that switches him to defense, enemy control or whatever. So I would definitely recommend picking up at least one of these. Zen Mighty, I shouldn't have to go too much into. We already talked about that with the wind-up loop in my discussion about wind-up rat. And I think you guys should get, I don't know, whether you play wind-ups or not, it's still a good card. I don't know. I'm not saying it's splashable as a generic, but it's still very, very good, and I think you should check it out. Just the fact that it can help the loop. I mean, they might shut that down. I don't know if they're going to touch this card or the rat, but we'll figure that out later. But you definitely need to grab them. Evil's Soul Day, which is how I'm going to pronounce it for now. I see this being the easiest to bring out with the Evil Soars because of Castaneria. You know, you destroy a monster, tribute him off, bring out 2 level 6 or lowers, so you can bring out 2 level 6s, make this guy. And while this card has materials attached to it, it cannot be destroyed by card effects. That's an amazing effect. So Deep Prison and Caius and so forth are some of the only monsters and magic and traps that are being played right now that vanish. I mean, it could be bounced, of course, with like compulsory or something to that effect, but that's not what you see as often as a while back. So when your opponent special summons a monster, you can detach material from this card and destroy the monster. That doesn't negate anything, so this can't hurt Stardust because it can destroy the monster. It doesn't negate the summon. So if that monster still has, let's say, a priority effect, Rescue Rabbit, Tour Guide, things like that, it still gets their effect. So still, very good card. I think you should at least have one. Beetle, I really like. He's only 1900 for a 6-star, or excuse me, rank 6, but he's very good because in sectors, what they do is, you know, they bring back from the graveyard or from the hand, and so here's why he's so good. When he's Exceed summoned, you can just steal a monster from either player's graveyard and equip it to him. Not as a material, but just like as an equip card, the kind of thing sectors do, similar to Dragonides. It gains the attack and defense equal to half of the equipped monster's attack and defense, on top of the 1900 that he is already. And it looks like his defense is around, I think, 1300 or something like that. So he's going to get pretty big. His best part is once per turn, you can detach a material from him to target a face-up card you control and a face-up card your opponent controls, and then you just send them to the graveyard, which, as we know, is good for insectors to help the recycling. So you can just send it to the grave, and then maybe one of your other insectors can bring it back from the grave, and you can, I'm not saying a loop is going to start, but you can definitely, because, you know, this is only once per turn, but it's definitely a good tool in your arsenal. And he's big, so he's going to be kind of hard to get rid of. So definitely pick as many of those as you can if you're going to play insectors. Here we go, starting on the spells. I like this card. I just think it would be so much better if it was a quick play. Of course, I'm sure all magic cards would be better if they're quick plays, but this one needs a quick play because of what it does. It's a normal spell, obviously. Target one face-up monster you control, This turn, the target cannot be destroyed by battle, which would be nice as a quick play as a surprise. And neither player takes battle damage from battles involving the target, which is fine. It gets rid of monsters. Who cares about damage sometimes? If the target battles a monster this turn, in other words, whatever monster you chose with this battles anything, you destroy it after damage calc. So let's say you take your the first monster I thought about this would be like, let's say Naturia Bamboo Shoot, after you're stopping magic and traps from your opponent plays. So then you got to worry about him being destroyed by battle, and you got to worry about him being destroyed by card effects. But you're probably going to be playing Veilers and Forbidden Chalice, things like that, Fiendish Chain, things like that I do that you've maybe seen with me. But the battle is some of the hardest things to protect him from. So let's say they've got a big monster out and you can't get rid of it, and you're not drawing your Smashing Grounds or whatever. You play this, you put it on Bamboo Shoot, you attack, it doesn't die by battle, you don't take any damage also, and then that monster dies. So it's a pretty good card. I'm not saying it should only be for Naturias, but it's a good card for that deck. Ga Bolt, the art on it's freaking amazing. I love the look of it. Hopefully the Ga will get some play, and with the girl coming out, I think it's going to be fun. If you control a face-up Ga monster, target one card in the field and destroy it. So nice, easy, quick, painless thing. You don't have to. There's no cost. It doesn't exactly have a major plus except to get rid of the target. It's not exactly like Gemini Spark, but still a very good card. And looks like I put common there. It looks like it's been upgraded to a rare. I kind of hope it does. It's a good card. Double Defender as a common, but I like it because it's continuous. It is a stall card in my opinion, because it says once per turn if you control 2 or more face-up defense position monsters, which is not hard to do in a stall deck, obviously. When your opponent clears an attack, you can negate the attack. So as long as you keep those monsters in the field, it's just a very long, it's like a wall of revealing light or whatever that was. I don't know, that doesn't sound right. That trap card you pay a few thousand for, they can't declare an attack with anything with less than that, so reminds me of that a little bit. Alright, we'll get into the spell card ninjutsu art. A little different than most of the traps, but it's a draw card. So what you do is if you control a face-up ninjutsu art card, which you should always have at least one on the field, you play this, destroy the ninjutsu art cards you have face-up. Most likely only have 1 or 2. Then you can draw 2. So it could be good. Let's say for some reason you want to open up your back row and you need to allow some room. This is a good card to play. I don't know if I would play more than 1, but there it is. Wish Upon a Star, kind of neat. I don't really think it's going to see a lot of play, but I also haven't done my research to see if like the Ga all have the same attack or defense or whatever, but it's a good card. It's mainly for, of course, for Exceed Summoning. Target one face-up monster you control. All face-up monsters with the same attack or defense have their levels changed to that of the target until the end phase. One thing I can see it being good is in the Steel Swarms that all of them but like 1 or 2 have 0 defense. So you could make them all rank 4 to make Roach or whatever is going to be coming out for them at a later time. But I'm sure there's other decks you can probably think of right now that are your mind's probably exploding with options. It doesn't mean that your whole deck has to have monsters with the same attack or defense, but it just makes Exceed Summoning so much easier. So I think this is a good card. Armor Blast is great for Insectors. It's a rare. I actually could see it getting bumped up, but it is not a quick play, but it's still good. Target one face-up Insector card you control, and 2 face-up cards your opponent controls and destroy them. So it's actually the opposite of that old trap card called Two-Pronged Attack, where you destroyed one of yours and then you destroyed 2 of yours and destroyed one of your opponents. This is the opposite. I really like it. Of course, it's going to be bait for Starlight Road, but whatever. This is the, if I can remember correctly, this is the actual sneak peek promo card as an equip card. A lot of people don't like it. But for those people that are going to be playing Insectors, I actually do like it. You have to equip it all into an Insector, which is fine. The problem with that is that the Insector decks that I've seen are about half Insectors and half just dark and light support. The equip monster gains 800 attack and defense, which is pretty darn good because they are so small. When this card, this face-up card, is sent from the field to the graveyard, which happens a lot, and it's a mandatory effect. It says add one Insector monster from your graveyard to your hand, which is amazing because, as you probably already know, the Insectors work from the graveyard or from the hand. You can just drop them as equip cards onto the other Insector. So I like this card. I'm not saying it's amazing. I'm not saying I'd play a bunch of them. I'm just thinking about playing one. I do like it. So anyway, let me know what you guys think about that. Swinging spring scales, art on it's kind of cool. I like it. It's got bat up in the top and honey flying. So target 2 wind-up monsters you control with different levels, so pretty much a level 3 and 4 most likely. Your opponent chooses one of them, and if you change the other monster's level into the chosen monster's level until the end phase. So let's say you have a level 3 and a level 4. Your opponent picks the level 3, which they probably won't. They'll probably pick 4 because they're not as scared of wind-up Zen mains, Zen Master as they are of mains and Mighty. So if they choose the monster with the lower level, you get to draw a card. So they're probably going to always pick the high one anyway. I guess you could put a level 3 out there as the high one and put use honey as your 1 or a 2. I can't imagine why you'd want to do that, but 3 and a 2 wouldn't be a bad option either. So I would like to hear what you guys think about why you would want to ever make a 2, but 3 and 4 will probably be your biggest choices. Primordial Soup, very good card for what it is. I mean, it is just a common, but it's a continuous, which is nice. And it kind of helps you get things going, because it says once per turn during your main phase you could shuffle 2 Evil Soul monsters, in other words the big guys, from your hand into your deck. And because your Eva tiles are kind of like your toolbox, your engine, they're going to help you get, be consistent. Your Eva Soars are your bigger guys, usually your 5, 6, 7, so forth. So you want, let's say you're stuck with them in your hand, you can shuffle them, up to 2, so it can be 1, which is great. Then you draw the same amount of cards, so it's just kind of like a reload, but you're not really getting a negative off of it because reload's a one-time deal. This is a continuous, which is great, and you can only control one of these on the field, which is totally understandable. I wouldn't play a bunch of these anyway. But what I will say is this, this really helps you along with this card coming up. This card right here is amazing if you play Evil deck, because you tribute an Evil tile monster you control. Sorry about that. You special summon an Evil Sword from the deck, and the Evil Swords work best when they're brought out from the Evil tiles. This magic card actually allows you to get that effect, because it says that monster special summoned by this card's effect is treated as if it was special summoned by the effect of an Evil tile monster, which is perfect. This is just one more outlet to help you get that deck going, and I think this is an amazing card. I just like the name of this. I love the art on this card. I don't think it'll see any play, but it says if you control 3 or more dark monsters, target a face-up card in the field and remove it from play. Banish it. I love that it has Dark Arm Dragon on there. I just think it's kind of cool. I don't know if it'll ever see any play. Creeping Darkness is a super rare, and it is very good. You banish 2 darks from your graveyard, which can be a positive in a lot of ways, and then add 1 level 4 dark monster from your deck to your hand. So it's pretty much like a free Dark Rhoda. Really broken. But it is only for level 4. It's not level 4 or lower. So, whatever. It looks like it has DD Warrior Lady. Hurt. I don't know why, because she's a light monster, but whatever. And the last one for this video. Altar of Mist Valley is a rare. It's a Fieldsville card, which, it says Mist Valley, but it could be played in, I guess, maybe if you wanted to try a Gusto deck or something, but I think you don't really need to. Once per turn, when a wind monster is destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, which can happen, pretty often, you can special summon 1 level 3 or lower wind monster from your hand or deck, which is great. The monster's effect is negated, but you don't really care about that because you're probably going to be Exceed summoning. Maybe Synchro summoning, I'm not really sure. I haven't done a ton of research, but I do know the Mist Valleys do Synchro summon pretty well. So I really like this card. I think it might be something that might help that deck a little bit. So alright guys, that is it for this video. Let me switch over now to Tour Bus. A lot of you have already known a lot about it, but I wanted to just run through the stats and some of my opinions on it. It's probably not going to be anything you haven't heard, though. It's a dark, level 3 Fiend, so it's easily grabbed by a tour guide, obviously, for those of you who have it. And attack and defense are 1,000, so the defense is a little higher than before. Like, a lot of people, including myself, think Sangan might be banned, and the ban list coming up March 1st, and this would be kind of a replacement for that. The effect is, when this card is sent to the graveyard, you get to target one monster in either player's graveyard except for this card, or any other copies, and shuffle that target into the deck. So it is a mandatory, just like Dandelion. So whether you Foolish Bury it, you discard it as a cost, or you detach it from an exceed material monster, it doesn't matter how it gets there. It gets its effect because it activates in the grave. It doesn't matter if it's from the field. That's why Sangan's different, and some other cards like that. So this card is already, I've seen one sold on eBay for $75 as a pre-order, and now I'm seeing them over $100. So unfortunately, it might be a money card, but we'll just see how it goes. It's one of the only exclusives that I've done research on. I'll try to get more for you soon. And of course, it would help if Konami would release just a few more. I don't know why they can't do that, but I also was curious what you guys think this monster right here is. So, not real sure. It looks very familiar, and it's kind of been bugging me, but I would love to know. I know what the Soul Absorbing Bone Tower is in the background, but I just don't know who the driver of the bus is. Okay, I think you guys will be probably wanting the fourth part, and of course I'll be doing more exclusive stuff next video. Hopefully there'll be some more information released. Thank you guys for watching, and please click that thumbs up and comment below. Let me know what you think. Later, guys.